Hello friends, welcome back to Teachers Classroom. I am George McConnell. I hope you will like the videos of solvent extraction I discussed with you. If you like the videos, then don't forget to hit the like button and as well as to subscribe my channel and share with your friends. In today's lecture, I am going to discuss with you some applications of solvent extraction application in metallurgy. So let's start the lecture. So applications of solvent extraction. Number 1, determination of iron as 8-hydroxyquinolate, determination of uranium as 8-hydroxyquinolate, determination of nickel as DMG, dimethyl glyoxime complex, determination of iron chloride extraction, determination of lead by dithiazone method, determination of copper as diethyl dithiocarbamate complex, determination of copper as neocyproene complex, determination of beryllium as acetyl acetone complex, and the last one, that is the determination of molybdenum by thiocyanate method. So those are the application of solvent extraction. As a point of examination, you must remember all these points, all these applications. I am going to discuss with you some of the applications briefly. Number 1, that is determination of iron as 8-hydroxyquinolate. Okay, as per this topic here, I am going to discuss with you the theory, not a theory portion, but it's like a step-by-step process by which you can easily determine the iron with the help of the formation of 8-hydroxyquinolate. By this process you can done the practical in a laboratory. So the step number 1, that is called the ferric iron, can be extracted from aqueous solution with 1% solution of 8-hydroxyquinoline in chloroform by double extraction. That is a step 1. Now that is important. The pH of aqueous solution must be adjusted between 2 to 10. Okay, that is important as a MCQ question also. The pH for determination of iron as 8-hydroxyquinolate, you must remember that is range is 2 to 10. Okay, I already discussed that point, the effect of pH on a solvent extraction. So that point is reflected here. That is a process. Prepare an aqueous solution of hydrated ferric ammonium sulfate FAS by dissolving 0.2226 gram of the substance in 1 liter of water in a measuring flask. That is the first point. Okay, the hydrated FAS is dissolved, the amount is given to you 0.22 gram of the substance that dissolve in 1 liter of water. Okay, that is in a measuring flask. That is step 1. Then okay, from that is your stock solution. Okay, in 1 liter flask, when you prepare the 1 liter solution of FAS, that is your stock solution. Now from that stock solution, the next step is pipette out 50 ml of that solution in a 100 ml separating funnel. Okay, then add 10 ml of 1% solution of oxime in chloroform. That is the next step. You know how to prepare 1% solution of oxime in chloroform. Here when you prepare 1% solution of oxime, your solvent is not water, your solvent is chloroform. That means 1% solution of oxime is prepared in chloroform, not in water. So keep in mind that your solvent is in chloroform. Shake the mixer well for about 2 minutes and then separate the chloroform layer. You know that chloroform and water are insoluble, immiscible. Because of that reason you got 2 layers, one layer of chloroform, another layer of water. Now the optical density of the layer is determined with the help of a suitable spectrophotometer. Okay, so that chloroform layer, then the chloroform is the layer of chloroform is then decant from that separating funnel. आप उसे अलग कर लीजिए और वो जो chloroform layer है, now your chloroform layer has that ion. Okay, the ion is extracted by chloroform from the water. Then when you measure the optical density, we can say the absorbance or percentage transmittance of that chloroform layer with the help of a spectrophotometer. Okay, the process may be repeated with further 10 ml of 1% solution of oxime and chloroform, and again measuring the optical density. That is called a repetition. Okay, we already discussed one question here. Separation is more complete if it is done in a several installment, not in a single operation. So that is the point is reflected here in small installment. When you repeat the practical, more amount of ion can be extracted with the help of a chloroform. So that is a practical purpose, practical steps for determination of ion as 8-hydroxyquinolate. One more topic, that is called determination of uranium as 8-hydroxyquinolate. It is possible to determine uranium as 8-hydroxyquinolate in the presence of some ADTA, that is a masking agent, at pH 8.8. That pH is important for MCQ purpose. The ADTA masks the interfering ions like Fe, aluminium, etc. You know what is masking now. Okay, as I discussed that point in a factors affecting on a solvent extraction, ADTA is a masking agent. Now the optical density is determined as usual with the help of UV visible spectrophotometer. You can measure the absorbance. Optical density is an old word. Okay, optical density, that means nowadays it is called absorbance with the help of UV visible spectrophotometers. Third one is the determination of nickel as DMG, dimethyl glyoxime. Okay, in gravimetric you perform this practical determination of nickel as nickel DMG. Okay, but here we determine nickel by spectrophotometrically, by solvent extraction, not by gravimetrically. So the process is prepare an aqueous solution of ammonium sulfate by dissolving 0.135 gram of the substance in 1 liter of water in a volumetric flask. That is the first step. That is a stock solution. Now 10 ml of your stock solution take in a beaker and dilute it with 90 ml of water, and then add 5 grams of a substance. Then dilute ammonia solution until the pH is 7.5. Okay, so pH 7.5 is important for same MCQ purpose. Now the mixture is now transferred to a separating funnel. The whole mixture is then transferred into separating funnel, and then add 20 ml of a DMG, dimethyl glyoxime, and 12 ml of chloroform. Okay, when you follow these steps, after shaking the mixture, okay, red chloroform layer is separated. The red color is because of the formation of a complex between nickel and DMG. Nickel DMG complex has a red color, and because of that reason the chloroform layer is in red color. That chloroform layer is separated out, and then optical density of the layer is determined. So by using some method like calibration curve or standard deviation method or any other method, if you know, then you can easily convert the data, that means optical density, into amount, how much amount of solute is extracted. Okay, that can be easily determined with some of the methods. The extract repeated with a 12 ml portion of chloroform, and the optical density can be measured. Now, next topic of my discussion is solvent extraction method in metallurgy. Okay, this technique is used in metallurgy for extraction of metal from leach. It's like a coal tar-like material obtained from low-grade ores. Okay, then Separation of metals that are combined state in are difficult to separate by pyro, that means by heat, and hydro means water, metallurgical techniques. The separation of metal that are in a combined state, that is difficult with the help of heat, by applying the heat, or by hydro, water, metallurgical techniques. In that case, solvent extraction technique are used for separation or extraction of the metal from their ores. The extraction of uranium and thorium from spent nuclear fuels, okay, rare earth metals in a monazite leach liquor, radioactive fission productions. That is one technique. The monazite leach liquor containing metal is then extracted with alkyl phosphoric acid, okay, like tributyl phosphate in a xylene. So that is a process of extraction of uranium and thorium from that spent nuclear fuels from the nuclear reactors. The uranium and thorium distribute more in a xylene, which undergoes then first the separation of uranium and plutonium fission product that dissolve in nitric acid is then extracted with diethyl ether that enters in an organic phase. Second, the lanthanide separation. The solution in nitric acid is extracted with ether that separated lanthanides from the ether. So these are some points by which you can separate out uranium, thorium, the plutonium, the lanthanides. Okay, by following this you can extract it. These are some small points. Okay, behind that there was a brief theory and some practical points are also, but I am not going to discuss here with you. You can Google it and you got the answer how you can extract uranium, thorium and many other metals from that coal tar like leach liquors. So that's all about today's lecture, friends. I hope you like it. Don't forget to subscribe my channel as well as to share with your friends. Thank you for watching.